Check, check. All right, that should be better. Sorry about that. Little technical difficulty there. All right, let's see. We've got the event started. Where did my... There it is. What's up, Navy Plum? Good morning. Good to see you. My screen sharing going. All right, that's up. And last but not least, all right, cool. Let's get over to the main options chat. What's up, LB? What's up, YB Skater? Good to see you all here. Hope you are doing well. What's up, Grimtail? Good to see ya. Stats Matter. What's up, buddy? What's up, Checker? All right, so I think I've got everything lined up. There's our existing trade. Hang on. I want 2 Tesla plans, do I? We didn't do a third one. Yeah, that Wolf plans. Oh, no, we did do that on Thursday. Okay, cool. All right, well, I think I got everything lined up. Let's dig in. Let's talk about it a little bit. MU, sure, we'll take a look at MU. What's up? It's Kraken. Good morning to you. So happy to see everybody here bright and early. All right, so let's take a look at the markets. What are we seeing here? Zoomed out at the moment, big picture. This is what we've been watching for a little over a month now. Again, that breakdown of the existing trend led to this new downtrend that's taken us down all the way. Almost got pretty close. No, actually, I'm sorry, we did hit that. My levels were a little bit squeezed together. Hit the 61.8 retracement there. We're pushing back up into what was a demand zone here. Yeah, I agree. So far, it's looking a little bit dead cat bounce status. And again, personally, I'm kind of watching this very, very steep downtrend to give way before I get too interested or too enthusiastic about long positions in the market going back to bullish mode. Again, let's not try to anticipate these things. Let's get some confirmation. I'd rather miss some of the move and have better confirmation that things have flipped back to the upside versus trying to time the bottom and getting caught in dead cat bounces and all that sort of stuff. There will be plenty of upside opportunities once this structure changes, so don't feel like you have to be in before there's any clear indication that we have indeed had a change of trend here. Go over the news coming out, Trump saying he's ending the war. I didn't see that. I mean, how many times has he said that, though? So, I hesitate to say this, but it's just the facts, I think, at this point. Yeah, I was gonna say it's not the first time we've heard this. Very much boy who cried wolf scenario. I will be much more inclined to give that some consideration, some see it as significant if we start to hear that from sources other than Donald Trump and the White House. Clearly, his goal is to try to prop the markets as much as he can while still continuing to prosecute this war in Iran. So, yeah, I don't take any of that all that seriously at this point. So, sad to say, but that's just that is just what it is. I mean, Stats Matter absolutely nailed it. I mean, he said this how many times, and then there's more bombing, more threats, more chaos. So yeah, I wouldn't go hanging my hat on anything coming out of the current administration as a reliable indicator of what is actually to come here in the near future. And so all that we can do is just wait and see, play the charts, focus on the levels, and continue to try to execute. Again, to me, still very much in a short the rips market, especially below this current downtrend. So keep your heads on a swivel. We're not out of the woods yet. Nice to see a little bit of a bounce, but again, haven't really bounced through any major resistances or anything like that. So even technically speaking, I'd say the market is maybe giving some hope that that there is a true end in sight to the conflict in Iran. But I think it's going to treat that with a lot of skepticism based on how this has played out so far. So yeah, exactly. Could be a gap up and fade, short the rips market. That's very, very, very normal. Yeah, Gardel absolutely nailed it. So I wouldn't take any of that with too much emphasis or use that to really add to my conviction of there's going to be a shift in trend. Something is going to change back, flipping us back to the bullish side of things here. Across the board, excuse me, NTS still pretty bearish across the board. And again, we do have some room to continue to bounce a little bit before we start running into some real sell pressure and some tough levels to break. So yeah, and then things also seem to be starting to escalate and kick off in Taiwan. That could be a very interesting scenario and development, especially for semiconductor stocks. So yeah, just keep your heads on a swivel. Don't try to trade the news. Focus on the charts. The news will facilitate what the charts are probably already telling you in most cases. And right now, I don't see anything that says, other than this, sort of multi-bottom support move right down here. That's like the one thing out of probably a dozen things I see on this chart that says bullish. The rest of it all says we're still in a bearish, short the rips, lots of resistances overhead market. So that's my quick take on it. Again, just continue to focus on the right levels, get input from those who know what they're doing in these markets in the chats, and continue to protect the account until the market starts to shift back more into a accommodative price action setup. So that's my take on the markets in general. Not a whole lot has changed. Yeah, we've got B52. Yeah, that's not a war-ending move. Absolutely. All right, so let's get to some trade plan recaps, and then we'll get to work on some new ones. I saw Stats wants to take a look at MU, so we'll add that to our list. CVX, we did this one on last Tuesday's live stream. It has been making its way to the upside after breaking that call entry. Got to PT1, got to PT1 plus there yesterday, coming back for a back test. Let's look at this on a slightly higher time frame. Still overall pretty bullish. 200, 333 SMAs, cruising to the upside, giving it some extra confluence there, right in the NTS flag on the 15-minute. That's where we bounced pre-market so far. So CVX, and you can kind of put that alongside of oil names because Chevron is a gas company, with crude not really dropping all that much, but the market's pumping. That's also kind of another sign that maybe this bounce is not something we get too excited about. But Chevron looks like it's going to try to build support up here right around PT1 and might make that push for PT2 if it does do that. So keep an eye on it. So far, one target hit on Chevron to the upside after giving us the confirmed break there. Microsoft, boy, I'm going to need to clean up this chart a little bit. Let's get to where our plan actually went into effect. So Microsoft gave us the breakdown, gave us all three price targets to the downside since we did this plan last Tuesday, caught the bottom of this daily demand zone. I mentioned that a couple of times, somewhere in this 360 down to the bottom of this demand zone. Probably a good place to start accumulating some Microsoft shares if you haven't already started to do that already and you want to hold Microsoft in your long-term portfolio. So in this demand zone, but again, still overall looking pretty bearish with some of these resistances overhead, especially that 367.05 looks like a tricky level with how everything's set up on the chart right now at the moment. So keep an eye on that as a potential resistance rejection point. If it can get back over 372, well, then it starts to look like it might try to push for a recovery and a mean reversion up to the 200 SMA there. So Microsoft on watch might finally be finding a bottom here out of this daily demand zone, but we'll see. Microsoft has seen a pretty decent pullback this year so far. So it was kind of ahead of the markets on making a corrective move. And I think it's 20 was something like 23% or something like that. Might even been a little bit more as far as how much Microsoft has pulled back year to date. So definitely might be reaching a value area on this particular name compared to the rest of the market that may be playing catch up to some of this downside. Coin, we did this one last Tuesday as well. So a week ago. No, I'm sorry, we did it last Tuesday, but then we did another one Thursday. Sorry. So this Thursday plan is the one we actually should be watching. We've done a couple of coin plans lately. Gave us the breakdown, back test of resistance right there at the put entry. From there, dumped. PT3, all targets hit overnight. So great move if you caught that break below, back test as resistance of the put entry. Took us all the way down to PT3 overnight. So you should have booked all your profits there and just be watching for the next opportunity to go short. Nice confluence building up right there at the put entry, 174.64. So if we do get a pump on coin that takes us back up to that level, could be a good opportunity to recycle and replay this plan, going short at 174.64, stops at 178.40, and then playing for these downside targets. So coin plan played out beautifully. Tesla, let's get to the current. I don't know why I got all these charts so far back. Another one kind of similar to that coin setup. We did this one last Thursday, gave us the break below, gave us the back test right there, back tested again first thing pre-market on Friday, and then from there played out for PT2 plus, and then yesterday gave us PT3 finally, and now it's trying to start to bounce, getting over this bearish momentum, but heading up to some resistance and selling pressure there at 364.24. So keep that level on watch. That could be a spot to watch for rejections on Tesla. But so far, all downside targets hit. Nice break below and back test opportunity there during the cash session on Thursday after we did the plan pre-market, and downside played out just like we wanted it. And then last but not least, Wolf. We also did this one last Thursday. Gave us the break below, gave us some back testing, gave us PT1. Then yesterday gave us PT2. Nailed that PT2 right down there, 13.25. 13.20 was the low of the day, so 5 cents off on that PT2. That has bounced us back up to PT1. Running into some sell pressure and some resistance there at 14.46 though. And did lose this ascending trend line. So those are all things to pay attention to with regards to Wolf. Definitely looks like it's building up some bearish momentum. All right, so we had MU. Let's take a look at it. What is this group one? I think those are all pretty old levels. Okay. All right, so MU, what are we going to do with MU? Just want to check this for supports and resistances that I have not yet charted. See where that gets us. There's no, yeah, no pushes up after that. Must have been a, yeah, Friday, Monday flip there. Yeah, there's definitely a level sitting right there we're going to want to watch. Hmm. I think there's something right around here. It's not super obvious, but I'm seeing enough, including this last bounce that sent it to new all-time highs right near that level. It tells me I want to at least have it on my chart. Probably keep an eye on it, more of like a let's test and confirm that level. Any other ones that I think we need to nail down here? Yeah, one right here too. All right. That's assault, brother. All right. I know how that is. All right. Where does this get continuation down? That's a very generous offer. Stats matter, by the way. Yeah, I think that was just NTS catching right there. There is a little bit of a gap to fill down here, actually. All right. Yeah, I don't know. I think there's a way to turn those sound effects off. I have it turned off, obviously, because I'm not hearing it. Oh, wait, no, we're already below that. Excuse me. Yeah, we've come very close to filling that gap. So hang on a second. I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself, thinking that that's going to be a good put entry. So in that case, let's move this around a bit. Hide this for just a sec. I want to see. Yeah, I'm looking at this 320.36 level as a stop loss. If it does break below 309.51, pretty sure that's bringing 293, so sub 300 on MU. No help there. So we got minimal price action in this range, but we'll find the spots. Don't worry about it. Tiny adjustment to that level. And with that, I think that makes for a good PT3 down there to 268.54. Where does upside get interesting? What's up, Chris? Good morning, buddy. Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. That's what we do, my friend. That's what we're here for. Plan the trades and trade the plans. Oh yeah, there's definitely levels sitting right here.
Plan your trades and trade.
There it is. Yeah, I'd cut that a little bit. I'd start taking profits a little bit. I was thinking about maybe that weekly level overhead, but I think right where we've got it looks pretty solid for PT2, and I definitely like setting PT3 right there. My only question left is that stop loss average level seems a little bit restrictive. Got to give these plans some room to work out, especially in this market. Yeah, I'm not going to get anything else from back there. Interesting triple bottom there, pre-market. Yeah, pretty close to where we broke above and based off this 315.74-ish level. All right. I think we've got it. Yeah. I like it. Let's go. So we are going to have some overlap on the stop loss average down levels, but that's not totally abnormal. Oops. $320.36. Wait a second. That's off. 345.54. Typo there. There we go. All right. Looks good to me.
Mic check, mic check.
Mic check, mic check.
What's up, guys?
What's up, Chris? Good morning. How are you, buddy?
Good. We got a beautiful crowd in here.
That's what I like to see. That's what we want, right?
Good. Just wanted to say, guys, make sure you get your votes in on the survey. There's about 5 days left for the survey, so make sure it always helps us out as staff traders to make sure you guys get your votes in. Oh yeah, I hear the echo. Sorry, guys.
Oh, you're good. Chris G for president. That's my vote. All right, let's get this locked in. Copy link. Here comes your yeah, those votes are important. Make sure you take some time to do those. Thank you, Chris, for reminding everybody. All right, here we go. And let me get this posted in the elite chat. And get this locked in over here. Lock in our template. And let's get our alerts in here. Okay, now it looks good. All right, we're locked in. Let's talk through this one last time, and then we'll get to the next trade plan. What are we looking for here on MU? We're looking for a break over 327.77. That should bring price to... Oops, let me throw Neptune back on here. Yeah, and just be careful playing that upside. Go a little bit small. Lots of bearish momentum, sell pressure to fight through to get up to PT1 there. So just be cautious. Keep your heads on a swivel. But over 327.77, we're looking for 354.54, then on up to 359.80 and 368.82 for our third price target, with a stop loss average down at 315.74. To the downside, we're looking for a break below 309.51. That should bring targets at 293.33, 284.27, and 268.54, with a stop loss average down at 320.36. Those are your MU Micron live stream plans. Sorry, coffee was needed. All right, what did we have next on the ticker requests? MU TSM. Okay, let's take a look at TSM, and then I think I saw Baba. JD, I see this. Yeah, good point, YB. Let's see, what did we do? What are we talking about? TSM. TSM's gonna play the MU plan. Just kidding. It is right there in the same range though. TSM. Oh my gosh. That's how long it's been since I've charted TSM. There's all my levels way down there. So let's get some new ones on this chart here. Been a while since I've looked at it. And those purple levels, old trend-based fib extensions, we eventually bottomed off the top of those. Did those have... Where are they? They're not hidden. Oh yeah, all the way back here. Let's see how those stack up, or if they add anything to our levels that we're getting ready to draw. Again, those are fib extensions, so trying to find those untested levels from back sometime around July of 2024. That's when I did that set of fib extensions. It's used them a little bit, so not bad. All right, let's zoom out though. Not sure what I was doing with that trend line. All right. Hmm. I think there's something there. Not really clear on this weekly chart, so we'll circle back and take a look at that. Could make a small adjustment to that trend. Nah, that one's good right where it is, though. All right, yeah, we're gonna have to go to some smaller time frames here with this parabolic move that TSM has made recently. Where are you at? Yeah, we just tested prior resistance as support. Bounced off that yesterday. All right, that should put us in pretty. Actually, let's add that little too. Pretty decent shape. No, sorry, one more. All right, let's zoom in on this a little bit. Hmm. Yeah, there's a smaller time frame level right there. 331. Also a nice confluence of resistance there, so definitely a spot I'd be taking some profits. If we do get a break over this 321.62 weekly resistance, from there, yeah, would make a small adjustment to this level right to there. That'll give us PT2. And then maybe we take a shot at 357. Stop loss there at yesterday's low. Hmm. Hmm. Yeah. We're going to throw a level in right here. I expect if we lose that, we're going down to 296. That trend-based fib extension from forever ago is close, but I think 288.65 is the better level to watch. Yeah, and then I'd put it right about here at 276.64 for a PT3. We'll share a stop loss average down on both sides of that plan. All right, so let's lock it in. All right, that should be right where we want it. Short and long positions. Clean up this object list real quick while I'm here. There we go. All right, yep, that all looks good. Let's get it locked in. Here comes your TSM live stream plan. And of course, we need to get this over in the elite chat so we can get some alerts set up. Get that in place. And let's get our template locked in. Tuesday live stream plan 2. Yes. Alerts. All right, alerts are set. So let's talk through this one last time. What are we looking for here on TSM? We're looking for it to break over 321.62. That should bring price targets at 331.55, 343.68, and 357.06 with a stop loss average down at 312.57. To the downside, we're looking for a break below 307.09. That should bring price targets at 296.35, 288.65, and 276.64 with a shared stop loss average down with that upside trade plan there at 312.57. Let's go. Yes, definitely take it slow. Market is in God mode right now, so you have to really know what you're doing or follow the analysis from those who do know what they're doing and stick to the plans. Don't get shaken out. Don't get eager to take profits too early, anything like that. Just stick to the plans. Plan your trades, trade your plans, right? All right, let's see. What did we have last but not least? Hymns. I'll take a quick look at it. Maybe we've already got a plan ready to go somewhere in the mix, but I do need to wrap up here pretty soon. I got to start getting ready to take the pup for his follow-up to the vet. Just had minor surgery. No big deal. Very minor surgery, but he's got to go back for his follow-up this morning, so I need to get ready for that here soon. But for what it's worth, the last HIMS plan we did had us going short below 2254 and had PT3 down there at 1846, so that played out beautifully. I guess that was from a couple of Tuesdays ago. What I will say is if it does break that 1846 level, it's likely going down to 1688. So yeah, if you want like an idea for a downside plan, it would look something like this. That PT3 from the last plan we did on it, perfect target. But I think you'd be looking at 1684-ish, something like that. And down to 1528. And then down to the bottom of the top, I mean, of this demand zone that it bounced out of around 1417. Yeah, well, you know what? Let's just do a downside only plan on this one. Just because I do need to get moving here. So I can get the pupper taken care of. If you really want to learn, get some one-on-one mentoring, especially if you are pretty brand new to this. Get it early before you start developing bad habits. Learn some technical analysis strategies that you can actually employ and use on your own charts. That is the best way to get a shortcut to knowing what the hell you're doing when it comes to trading, especially in the current market. So yeah, one-on-one mentoring, my number one recommendation for newer traders or anybody who's struggling and feeling like they're just not able to make heads or tails of things. Certainly what I would be looking at. Make a small adjustment to that weekly level there. Let's see, what's the best way to do this? We'll do this like this. Whoops. So it's gonna look something like that. All right, here's your HIMS downside plan. Just because I don't have time to do both plans and do both, I think, adequately. Oh, shoot. Forgot to change that. That's HIMS, not MU. Duh. All right, there we go. Copy that message link. Get that locked in here. This locked in here. And last but not least, to create the alert now. right, that should get us there. Oh, let's slide this over. There we go. All right, so HIM's downside plan. What are we looking for? We're looking for a break below 1846. That should bring price targets at 1684, 1528, and 1417 with a stop loss average down at 1967. All right, I do need to get to the spy plan and then get ready so I can take the dog to the vet. Thank you all so much for joining me this morning. I do appreciate it. We will be back Thursday morning at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And of course, I'll be in the chats in the meantime. So as we always say here on Chart Talk Live, plan your trades, trade your plans. Remember to keep those wins big, keep those losses small. We're looking for profits, not perfection. So go out there, get some green. I will see you all in the chats, and I'll see you back here Thursday morning. Until then, take care. Have a fantastic day.